Okay, dear students, we will continue our lectures of physiology, lecture number 14. So last time we have exchanged the lecture number 12 and 13. So importance is not to the lecture number, importance is to the lecture. So you listen, you read also, you watch it, you prepare the notes from the lectures and ask the questions whenever you are in a problem or difficulty. So you can approach me whenever you are in a question. Okay, so we will start our further lectures, our next lectures. New chapter, unit number 4 is excretion. So we have completed 3 chapters. So listen, we have total 5 lectures, we have 5 chapters. We can finish it within 30 lectures, but we will finish it so earlier because we have to complete some practicals also. So you be ready. I will inform you about practicals. If the practicals are theoretical, that we will continue online. If you have to do in the laboratory, you have to come to the laboratory. I will inform you. Okay. So we will start unit number 4, that is excretion. Excretion is a simple phenomena through which, or the process by which, the nitrogenous waste material is thrown out from the body. After the metabolism, the waste is always there whenever we get energy, and that is nothing but the nitrogenous material that has to be thrown outside whenever metabolism is complete or work is complete. Simply, excretion is the process of removal of waste products of metabolism and other useless products from the body is known as excretion. कोणत्याही ॲनिमलच्या शरीरामध्ये जेव्हा आपण अन्न खातो ते डायजेस्ट करण्यासाठी आपल्याला डायजेस्टिव्ह ज्यूस लागतात. त्या डायजेस्टिव्ह ज्यूसमुळे डायजेस्ट झालेल्या अन्नाला कन्व्हर्ट करण्यासाठी ऑक्सिजन लागतो, ऑक्सिडेशन लागते. ऑक्सिडेशन झाल्यावर तो स्टोअर करून ठेवल्यानंतर त्याला एनर्जी देण्यासाठी पुन्हा मेटाबॉलिझम करावं लागतं आणि मेटाबॉलिझम करण्यासाठी एनर्जी युटिलाइज केल्या गेल्यानंतर जो काही वेस्ट होतो त्याला बाहेर टाकण्याची पद्धतीला एक्सक्रेशन म्हणतो आपण जनरली, अँड दॅट इज नथिंग बट द सिम्पल एक्सक्रेशन. आणि एक्सक्रेटिव्ह प्रॉडक्ट हा केव्हाही नायट्रोजनस वेस्ट मटेरियल असतं किंवा नायट्रोजनस प्रॉडक्ट असतो. काय त्याच्यात मॅक्झिमम नायट्रोजन असते, म्हणून द वेस्ट मटेरियल इज कॉल्ड ॲज नायट्रोजनस वेस्ट. So the nitrogenous waste products are harmful and toxic, and actually they may be toxic, and not only to the cell or not only to the system, but it is toxic to the whole body if stored up for a long time. Therefore we excrete the nitrogenous waste immediately. Urea is also a nitrogenous waste material which is present in the waste of or excreted material of the animals, and this is nothing but the waste of metabolism. In mammalian body, the excretion is carried out by lungs, means we relieve CO2. Excretion is carried out by kidneys, means we throw the urine outside the body, and skin, the sweat material, बघा घाम म्हणतो, दॅट इज नथिंग बट द नायट्रोजनस वेस्ट थ्रोन आउटसाइड द बॉडी. म्हणजे आपल्या शरीरातून आपण फुफ्फुसाद्वारे CO2 बाहेर फेकतो, किडनीद्वारे युरिन बाहेर फेकतो आणि स्किनद्वारा स्वेट म्हणजे घाम बाहेर फेकतो. दीज ऑल आर द एक्सक्रेटरी ऑर्गॅन्स. अँड लास्ट वन इज द एंड ऑफ डायजेस्टिव्ह सिस्टम, वी कॅन से एनस, फ्रॉम वेअर द अनडायजेस्टेड फूड मटेरियल इज थ्रोन आउटसाइड द बॉडी. And bile salts are eliminated by the digestive system. काही बाईल सॉल्ट जे आहे त्यांचे वर्किंग संपलं की त्यांना सुद्धा शरीरात बाहेर टाकलं गेलं पाहिजे असतं. किडनी इन युरिनरी सिस्टम रिमूव्ह नायट्रोजनस वेस्ट प्रोडक्ट अँड हेल्प्स टू रेग्युलेट द आयोनिक बॅलन्स अँड pH ऑफ द बॉडी. म्हणजे युरिनरी सिस्टम कशासाठी असते तर वॉटर बॅलन्स अँड म्हणजे आयन बॅलन्स अँड pH मेंटेनन्स. सो what is the physiology of excretion? How the excretion is carried out? Mammalian kidneys are bean-shaped and they are paired structures situated at the lower abdominal region around the lumbar region. These are hydrostatic. The hydrostatic pressure exerted by blood for ultrafiltration Kidney has outer cortex and inner medulla layer. The nephrons are the basic unit of ultrafiltration of blood and forms urine. किडनी ही बीन शेप्ड असते, ती दोन थरांनी बनलेली असते. आउटर कॉर्टेक्स म्हणतात आणि इनरला मेडुला म्हणतात. या दोघांचा मध्ये किंवा मेडुलाचा आतल्या बाजूला नेफ्रॉन नावाचं एक बेसिक युनिट असतं. त्याला आपण युरिनिफेरस टिब्यूल्ससुद्धा म्हणतो. युरिन तयार करणारे टिब्यूल्स म्हणजे युरिनिफेरस टिब्यूल्स. त्या किडनीमध्ये लाखो असतात आणि त्या बेसिक युनिट आहेत किंवा त्यांना बेसिक ऑर्गॅन म्हणतात किडनीचा, की जो ब्लडमधून युरिन तयार करतो, ब्लडला फिल्टर करून त्यातनं वेस्ट मटेरियल बाहेर टाकतो म्हणजे युरिनमध्ये. सो हाऊ इट रिलीजेस द वेस्ट मटेरियल, or we can say the simple procedure of formation of urine or filtration of urine from blood is called as ultrafiltration. This is very simple definition. Next one, we will see how the ultrafiltration is being carried out. Ultrafiltration, it means the process of filtration of urine from blood occurs at the glomerulus or Bowman's capsule. So what is glomerulus, what is Bowman's capsule, that I will show you in the next figure. This one is the figure. First of all, we will see what is the structure of nephron, or what is the structure of uriniferous tubule. This is the uriniferous tubule, or we can say urine forming tubule. So this is the Bowman's capsule. This is Bowman's capsule. This is proximal convoluted tubule. This is loop of Henle. This is distal convoluted tubule, and this is collecting tubule, in which the urine is collected at last and collected in the urinary bladder. So this is the cortex and this is the medulla region. This is the outer cortex region and this is the medulla region. In this way, so the kidney perform the function of ultrafiltration. So we will see the detailed parts later on. First of all, the Bowman's capsule is where the network of capillaries called as glomerulus. So the remaining thing I will explain later on. Prior to that, the glomerulus is a dense network of extra thin capillaries and also called as filtrate, or we can say glomerulus. These are the two names given to the bunch of capillary which are responsible for the filtration of blood and formation of urine. So Bowman's capsule and glomerulus together constitute, these both together constitute a cup called as Malpighian corpuscle, because it has been identified by a scientist Malpighi. A-N, you release A-N, the Malpighi is the scientist, and therefore the name is given Malpighian corpuscle. So blood flows through this capsule from different arterioles to the glomerulus and then carried away by efferent arterioles. So efferent is bringing and efferent is carrying the blood after filtration. Therefore, afferent and efferent arterioles. This is also known as glomerular filtrate. This process is also known as glomerular filtrate. Ultrafiltration takes place in the Malpighian body due to blood pressure, which forces the fluid out through the extra thin capillaries present in the glomerulus. So in glomerulus, very thin capillaries of the blood vessels are there, which are able to filter the urine from the blood. The walls of these capillaries are permeable for low molecular weight materials, compounds or ions, with water, and not permeable for the protein molecules. So this membrane is not allowing to pass the protein molecules, only water and the waste material is flows. In kidney, the outer layer cortex contains Malpighian body, proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubules, and the remaining part of the Malpighian body is at the lower side, or we can say it is in the medulla. So half part is in cortex and half part is in medulla. This is the arrangement of uriniferous tubule or Malpighian tubule. So this inner layer of kidney medulla shows loops of Henle in between these two tubules and called as loop of Henle, or as it has been identified by the scientist Henle, the name is given as loop of Henle and collecting tubule. At last the urine is collected by the collecting tubules and collected in the urinary bladder, and then it is thrown outside the external organ. So this is the way of ultrafiltration. This is the real mechanism. How I will show you in the structure. The structure of nephron, or we can say the structure of uriniferous tubule. So prior to discuss here, I would like to show you the structure of nephron. This is the structure of nephron, but prior to that we will see what the figure is. I will show you the actual figure. This is the complete nephron, or we can say this is the uriniferous tubule, or in third way we can say this is the Malpighian corpuscle, which is responsible for the formation of urine. And therefore, before studying mechanism of urine formation, we must be able to know the structure of nephron. So this one is the afferent arteriole. It brings blood. In glomerular, there is a network of very thin, extra thin capillaries through which the nitrogenous material is filtered and again carried out by the efferent arteriole. This is afferent arteriole. This is efferent arteriole. And the filtrated material is collected in the cup called as Bowman's capsule. This cup have cuboidal cells here arranged in the side walls. This is a Bowman's cup or Bowman's corpuscle. Then the tube which is extending from the Bowman's cup is called as proximal convoluted tubule. And this tubule is folded and continuous next, and this one upper part is the cortex of the kidney and this lower part is the medulla of the kidney. So as soon as it enters the medulla, it becomes very thin U tube or loop. It is called as loop, identified by the scientist Henle. Therefore, it is called as loop of Henle. This is a U-pin structure or U, capital U-like structure and very thin than the proximal convoluted and distal convoluted. Proximal means पुढचा convoluted tubule and मागचा म्हणजे याला आपण म्हणतो distal convoluted tubule. सो दोघं मध्ये फिल्ट्रेशन करत असते. आणि जर का काही एक्स्ट्रा मटेरियल इकडनं किडनीमध्ये न फिल्टर होता बाहेर टाकला गेला तर तो मटेरियल पुन्हा इथं रिॲब्सॉर्ब केला जातं, पुन्हा त्याचे शोषण घडलं. जिथं टच होतं बॉडीला तिथं ते पुन्हा रिॲब्सॉर्प्शन घडण्याची प्रक्रिया होते. याला काही ॲनिमलमध्ये जक्स्टा ग्लोमेरुलर कॉम्प्लेक्स सुद्धा म्हणतात, ते पण नंतर बघू. सो लूप ऑफ हेनले दोन प्रकारचे, एक डाऊन आणि एक अप. सो डाउनस्ट्रीम loop is called as descending loop of Henle and upstream loop is called as ascending loop of Henle. So this is descending and ascending loop of Henle. This one is the distal convoluted tubule, and at last the urine is collected by many nephrons in the main tubule that is called as distal convoluted tubule. And this is nothing but the structure or diagram of nephron in which the mechanism of urine formation is detailed given or depicted, we can see. Now we will see the theory of the structure of nephron. As we have seen previously in the structure, the picture is as such that the nephron is the basic unit of excretion, and these are tremendous in mammalian kidney. Tremendous means about 2 million in number. Somebody has written somewhere in the net information that about 2 million they are. The urine is formed by ultrafiltration in Bowman's capsule, and filtered urine is passed down the renal tubule. Renal tubule is another word for the nephron, renal tubule, and into the collecting ducts, which passes the urine through ureter in the urinary bladder. Means at last the urine is stored in the urinary bladder. Nitrogenous waste is percolated. The uriniferous tubules of the nephron can be divided into two parts: the proximal convoluted tubule in which solutes like glucose, salt and water are reabsorbed. Means the material which is to be thrown outside the body is again tried for the reabsorption in the proximal tubule. And second is the distal convoluted tubule that changes the filtered fluid into urine. Means actual urine formation is carried out in the distal convoluted tubule. The distal convoluted tubule of all nephrons join to collecting tubules which empty the urine into a narrow triangular renal pelvis, and the urine then passes from the pelvis, or we can say such a tube which is coming outside the kidney pelvis through the ureter into the urinary bladder and for storage, and then discharged out into the exterior, means thrown outside the body, that is kidney exterior. In mammalian nephron, exterior is does it mean, it does mean, or we can say it means to throw outside the body, not only kidney or not only system but from the whole animal body. In mammalian nephron, the proximal and distal convoluted tubules are separated by a very thin U-shaped loop known as loop of Henle that we have seen already in diagram, and this structure is responsible for the formation of concentrated urine. Means maximum water is percolated from the tubule and the urine becomes very concentrated in the loop of Henle. The total output capacity is about 150 to 170 liters per day, but only 1 to 1.5 liter of urine is formed because remaining is reabsorbed in convoluted tubules, because reabsorption is there and therefore the maximum urine is reabsorbed by the body. Only the unused material, only the toxic material, only the watery material, we can say, simply are thrown outside the body along with nitrogenous waste. So in this way the structure of nephron is working. This one is the structure that we have already observed and studied. Now selective reabsorption. Selective reabsorption means after filtration of blood in the kidney, some important material, if accidentally filtered by kidney, then the reabsorption is being taken place. Means again absorption activity is followed by the system. The difference in filtrate and urine, suggests that reabsorption of glucose takes place by reabsorption method. Means if sugar is going or glucose is going filtered, then it can be reabsorbed by the system. Sodium and potassium ions are very important to maintain the physiology of the body or organ. So these are also reabsorbed very fastly, while the large protein molecules such as hemoglobin, albumin, etc. are impermeable. Some of the amino acids, vitamin C and chloride ions are reabsorbed to maintain the ion balance or physiology. When the amount of glucose in plasma increases above the required normal level, then reabsorption activity is more than the normal. Means the reabsorption activity is in a good speed, or we can say it works speedily. But if the amount of glucose exceeds the normal level of controlling or maintaining or transport capacity, then the glucose retains in urine and what so happen in diabetes mellitus person, or we can say if the excess sugar is thrown outside the urine, is thrown outside the kidney in the urine, then we can call it as a diabetes mellitus patient, or we can say diabetes mellitus. आपण डायबिटीसचा पेशंट कोणाला म्हणणार की ज्याच्या युरिनमधनं शुगर किंवा ग्लुकोज जास्तीत जास्त प्रमाणामध्ये बाहेर टाकले जात आहे. तीन प्रकारचे शुगरची लेवल आहे. एक आहे लोअर लेवल, एक आहे नॉर्मल लेवल आणि एक आहे एक्सेस लेवल. तर नॉर्मलपेक्षा जास्त शुगर जर का युरिनमधून बाहेर येत असेल बॉडीचा, that person is to be known as diabetes mellitus person. This is very simple. We know always well about diabetic patient, but here in the reabsorption or the selective reabsorption by the kidney, we have to mention here about diabetes mellitus. So about 90 to 98% of water is reabsorbed. पाणी जास्तीत जास्त शोषलं जातं किडनीमध्ये किंवा या आपल्या नेफ्रॉनमध्ये, particularly in human body. The antidiuretic hormone, generally called as ADH, is responsible for reabsorption, which also maintains the osmotic gradient by the active transport. We know that in active transport, the ion gradient is maintained naturally. Our osmotic balance, osmotic gradient is maintained naturally during the transport, and water and chloride ions are absorbed by the diffusion and osmosis. These are the two methods, diffusion and osmosis, through which the absorption of the chloride materials which are required or necessary to maintain the physiology are there and carried out or absorbed by the diffusion and osmosis, the movement of ions through the membrane or permeable membrane, we can say semi-permeable or permeable, called as osmosis or diffusion. So in this way, the selective reabsorption is being carried out. Now, in next lecture, we will see the tubular secretion and countercurrent multiplier exchange theory. How the excretory material is excreted through the nephron, that we have seen here, and the nephron structure have Bowman's capsule, proximal converted tubule, loop of Henle, then distal converted tubule, and finally it is collected in the urinary bladder. In this way, the route of ultrafiltrated nitrogenous waste is completed here. So we will see the next topic in the next lecture. Till then, see you.